Hello, live from New York City. This is Maury Smith, and I am at the BuzzSumo #Meaningful Influence event. Woohoo! Yes, we do have a large crowd. They're making me blush. So I have prepared some slides for you. I've got a talk here. You'll just see me on camera. I'm going to go picture in picture with my slides. And the wonderful group here, we're doing a great round table and a discussion on what exactly is influence. What does it mean to you? We'd love to hear in the comments. All right, so I'm going to step out frame and hit share on my screen. Thanks for being here. And I will see your comments as well. Actually, let me pop that out of the way because I think it's on the screen. We'll go like that, and like this, and I think I'll be in the corner there. Okay, perfect. Excellent. Here we go. So, meaningful influence. This is the title of my talk, is how to build a large, loyal, profitable network with meaningful influence. And I intentionally mean this in two different ways. So you're building your network utilizing meaningful influence, and that your network has meaningful influence. So in essence, you're building an audience of audiences. Our good friend Brian Solis, many of you know Brian Solis, a wonderful fellow influencer and author. He talks about this concept of building an audience of audiences. And so as I go about my travels and do my work, I love to empower others to be influencers, to give them tools and distinctions that they can also empower their audience. So it's an audience of audiences. So what I'm going to do in my talk here is cover 3 different distinctions on creating and building and growing influence. So best practices, and Eric mentioned earlier, this is not his favorite term, but not to worry. Best practices around influence. Now, I'm actually going to step in and out of a couple roles up here. As an influencer myself, and working with numerous brands and clients around the world as an influencer, but also helping others to work with influencers. So what is it like on this end, and what are my favorite things to do when I'm working with influencers? So the best practices, and let me move my little wee screen right there for the audience in the room. There we go. Perfect. You know what? I just realized these guys are not seeing my slides. That needs to be like that. My apologies, guys and gals, on the live stream. So there was the slides that were showing. That one, that one. There you go. You should be seeing them now. Thanks. So influencer best practices. Mark Schaefer, my good friend here, long time colleague. I just absolutely love you. I really do. I'm not just saying that. Mark and I, we go back so long, and Mark Schaefer was there for me when I was going through a tough time about 10 years ago, and he's one of the few people that took time out and called me, and we had a great conversation. I have never forgotten that. And to maintain that trust and loyalty, Mark Schaefer earlier was talking about trust, that influencer is absolutely about trust. And I say, always be true to your brand voice and brand values. So if someone comes to you, a company that says, hey, we've got X amount of dollars, will you promote this for me? And you check out that brand or that product or that company, and you think, oh, gee, you know, this isn't really aligned with me, but gosh, that money looks good. I think I'd like to take the money. Do not compromise. Never settle. Never compromise. And again, Mark said it earlier where I tweeted it out. You said, you can always rely on me. I'll never let you down. And that, I love that you said that, Mark, because that's in essence very similar with my own audience, where they just trust. Like, oh, if Mari's endorsing it, it must be good. They just like, we know that she's done her homework. This has to be something worth checking out. So I'm going to ask you, what are you known as? If you're an authority on a specific topic, a specific subject. Whoops. She's listening to my live stream live. Become known as the go-to. You fill in the blank. So, for example, my own go-to, and Eric in his kind introduction said it earlier, I am known as the most trusted and reliable source of valuable and accurate information pertaining to Facebook for business. When people come to, particularly to my Facebook page, could be Instagram, could be Twitter, but definitely my Facebook page, And let's say something's happened with Facebook, there's a new product, a new feature, or there's a rumor going around, there's a myth, they want to bust a myth. Mari will have the answer, and they come to me and they know that I'll more than likely have posted about it, or I'm doing a live right then about it. So I'm also known as being genuine and kind and helpful and caring. I'll go above and beyond. I absolutely love my peeps with a passion. Back in the day when clout was a thing, people remember clout? Oh my gosh, thank God that went away. So it's like this arbitrary measure of how important you are. And I would say to people, they'd come up to me at events and I would say, gosh dang, you are important to me by virtue of being a fellow human being on this planet. I don't care if you have 1 follower or 1 million follower. I don't care if your score is 10 or 10 million. You're important to me. And that message always comes across in my marketing and my conversations. And then from a brand ambassador, influencer marketing standpoint, I'm known as a creative and effective marketing partner. I don't just say to the client that comes to me, Mari, we want to do some influencer marketing with you. Can you, promote this thing for us? I get in there and I start creating creative things. Even, Susan, this came about here. I said, what if I live stream this event? I'll live stream my portion. I'll lug an extra case of all my own gear halfway across the country. Wait, all the way across the country and set this all up. Because I love it and because it adds extra value and it takes the conversation we're having in this room and amplifies it outside. So I love doing that. Indeed, trust and reputation. I like to say, what is your level of trust with your audience? The deeper your trust, the more that you are positioned, regardless of the size of your audience, the more you're positioned to be able to make recommendations. And I think actually Heidi, you mentioned, was the Edelman trust, barometer. Thank you. Yeah, exactly. And Facebook's trust is actually quite low. Facebook's really working hard on and doing as much as they possibly can with the challenges they faced over the last couple of years. So let your audience know that you always fully research and test anything that you're recommending, endorsing, evangelizing. Again, my audience knows, heck, if Mari's endorsing it, Mari's recommending it, we can trust that she's done her homework and she's checked this out. And so off they go and they'll start to check it out for themselves. Now, I did add another bullet on this slide because customer service is key. Let's say I endorse a product or a SaaS company or whatever it might be, and then I send droves of people to go and sign up for this product or service or SaaS company. It turns out they have crappy customer service. And people will come back to me and they start tagging me, Mari, we can't get a hold of them, or Mari, you said this company was good. And so I've learned over the years that that's another aspect of like my checklist when I'm looking at companies. They have to have not only an amazing product and service, or they have to also have incredible customer service, be in essence aligned with my own values. Now, this is a saying that I've had for over 10 years now, that content is king. It starts with content. You have to have something, and content is a Facebook Live is a part of content. Videos content, all kinds of formats of content. The engagement component is queen, and she rules the house. And this is very much to what Mark Schaefer was saying earlier about emotion, that loyalty's gone down because the emotion is missing. And you can create emotion through engagement, through loving on your peeps. And I wrote a whole chapter in my book a few years ago called The New Relationship Marketing. There's a whole chapter in there specifically dedicated to soft skills, meaning deep listening, empathy, understanding, compassion. It's hard to know what someone's going through in 140 characters, 280 now, but to be able to have that skill, that life skill, to read between the lines and go, gosh, this person's maybe going through a rough time. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, or see how I could help them, or reach out and say a kind word. That's really the emotional aspect. So that's some best practices for you there. In terms of number 2 here, expanding your influence, whether you're an employee or you're self-employed, you are running your own company, or you're already an established influencer, some key points that I want to talk about in this section. You want to attract more tribe members, as I call them, prospects, customers, and deals. It's almost like one influencer marketing deal, if you will, begets more. I literally have a waiting list of companies wanting to work with me, and I only take on a few at a time because I love to go deep and do a really, really good job. Otherwise, I spread myself too thin, and I can't deliver. And I really, really like to make sure I'm keeping my word, of course. And then the tribe part of it, I like to always say that your vibe attracts your tribe, right? Who you're being, who you are. People are attracted to you because of who you are. Do a really, really good job for your clients. This is if you're already doing some brand ambassador work. Start with one company. If you're looking to do some influencer marketing brand ambassador work, you can go out and approach a company and say, hey, I'd like to do some, as we said earlier, oftentimes it's not paid and maybe in the beginning until you're more established. And if you do an amazing job for that client, and then you can begin to charge for it. Go above and beyond. Look for ways where you can really, really help that client amplify their reach, their engagement, their results. Be creative in designing your campaign. So one of the things that I always do, being a Facebook expert, the Facebook expert, is that I will weave in a Facebook promotional aspect. So I will manage the ad campaign. We often will do things like sharing pixels, sharing custom audiences, sharing business managers in the back end of Facebook, our Facebook ads, so we can do retargeting and really, really go deep on the campaign. And it's never just like a one and done. And again, I put my compromising in there again, never compromising on your own brand values. A quick example here, this is one of my clients I worked with through an agency. It's called IRI. They're actually a third-party data company, predominantly specializing actually in CPG at the space. So I did a Facebook Live for them, and then through both paid and organic, we got 170,000 reach and 125,000 views, 7,000 engagements. And their predominant result they wanted was awareness, because you can buy their third-party data and utilize it in conjunction with your Facebook ads. So whereas my audience is not necessarily in the CPG space, but some of them are, and I was able to do this Facebook Live and then utilize specifically targeted Facebook ads to get this out into much more a broader audience that was the audience IRI wanted to reach. Another example for you, this is one of my favorite clients to work with. It's called Wave.Video, and one of the founders is actually a guest of mine here today, Kate Scavish. She's one of the founders, and I've been working with this company for over 2 years, and they are a video creation tool, and it's at the moment desktop. They're coming out later this year with a mobile app, and my audience knows well, I'm always raving about Wave.Video. But the reason I'm showing you this as an example, actually, coming up on the next slide. So I decided to go exclusive with Wave, and up until that point, I was working with some other different video creation tools, and then it just made more sense to be exclusive with Wave. And as I say, over 2 years, and I've helped them to grow their business exponentially, significantly raise their brand awareness. I feature them in my various keynotes. This is another way, if you're already a speaker and you're speaking at events, you can actually negotiate deals with your brand ambassador partners and feature them in some of your major keynotes. HubSpot's inbound, digital marketers, traffic and conversion. Actually, I sent droves of traffic to their booth at Digital Marketer last year. Like, as far as the eye could see, there were people waiting to sign up at the booth. There I had the next bullet. Help them to sell thousands and thousands of accounts. A direct impact on building a loyal fan base. Back to this trust piece. See, because people trust me and I'm recommending this company, then there's almost like an immediate transference of trust. And Daniel Glickman, who's the CMO of Wave, shout out to Daniel, he said to me the other day there, Mari, they trust you and they trust us. And the love goes all the way around. He says it's very evident in the challenge group. So I'm going to talk to you about this challenge group because there's something here that you too could emulate, perhaps as an influencer, perhaps as a company working with influencers. So what we did, this was in fall of last year, I had this idea. I said, what if we did a 30-day video challenge? And this is to create a video every day for 30 days straight, because this is connected in with the Facebook algorithm. If you post on your Facebook page, not necessarily a video, but I do about 70% videos every day for 30 days, the algorithms go, aha, We have somebody that knows what they're doing here, and they're consistent, and they will keep posting content, and it will shift the algorithms just a little, not dramatically, but enough that you'll start to get a little more bang for your buck, if you will, a little more organic reach, a little more paid reach. So we started this challenge group, and we were going to do just a pop-up. You know, after the 30 days, groups just archived. But it grew and it had a life of its own. We got over 1,000 members in the group before the challenge even started. By the end of the challenge, we had over 2,000 members. And then we did an offer. We've done several challenges since. And in February, Wave just announced a new Free Forever plan. And we had over a quarter of these folks signed up. Initially, back when we had the first 1,000, 90% of them were new to Wave. 90% did not yet have a Wave account. So then, by the time it came to sign folks up, we were able to do that very, very easily. The group is now closing in on 4,000 members, and we're doing our next challenge on June 18th. So this is just fun. Like, I have fun with it. My audience has fun with it. And Kate was just telling me this morning, she says folks were coming to her in the group, and they were like, she mentioned about a woman in her early 60s. She says, I haven't been very creative for years. And she's like, this sounded really like challenge. Oh my gosh, big time. This is going to be a real challenge to create a video every day and come up with the ideas and the time to make it. And she's like, I did it. And I feel more creative now than I have in years. This challenge made me like overcome those barriers that I thought I had. So that was really wonderful. And here's a great result from Jackie. She said after 7 days of posting Wave videos to her page, she had an increase in engagement of over 2,400%. So this is what I'm talking about if you increase your video, but making them stand out. And I like what Mark said earlier, like at Social Media World, everybody's like, go all in on video. All of a sudden, everybody's profiles are like flooded with videos, like, wow, everybody's doing video. LinkedIn Live. Have you done LinkedIn Live yet? No, Sam? Hasn't been approved. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I haven't even looked at. I haven't even tried yet, but at some point I will. That's on my to-do list, LinkedIn Live. Anyway, so the third component here in our third section is actually working with influencers. And again, I'm going to kind of wear both hats as an influencer and also what it's like to work with influencers. So always looking to see how can you create a win-win strategic alliance? How is it win for the influencer? How is it win for the brand? And of course, ultimately, how is it a win for the audience? What do they get out of it? Do they feel better about themselves and about you and your brand as a result of the influencer and the brand working together? I like to say be a master networker when you can actually introduce other people, you bring in other great relations. Oh gosh, why don't I connect you and you? Oh, you guys might be a great strategic alliance, and just being a really great introducer. Always ensuring you protect your brand. I put that in there because you've got to do your homework, both on the brand side and on the influencer side. Do your homework, make sure there's an alignment there of brand values. Another term I like to use, I learned this years ago from a mentor I had, a self-made billionaire, fellow Scot, and she would talk about what's called proximity partners. What that means is, who are you seen with? Who are you in the same blog post title with? Who are you in the same tweet with? Who are you on the same stage with? Who are you co-creating products with? They're called proximity partners. And I decided today to use an example of my good friend Guy Kawasaki. Who's heard of Guy? Yeah, Guy. He's just such a fun guy. And so this was back when he was bringing out one of his many books on enchantment. And he had this butterfly. And Guy and I had been connected since probably 2008 in the days of Blog World, if those of you old-timers remember. And so Guy had reached out to me and he says, Mari, would you write a contribution for my book? And he was looking for maybe a couple of paragraphs. And I got carried away and I wrote these 10 things and it turned into a whole chapter. And he was go above and beyond, over deliver. And he was so impressed. He's like, Mari, I'm giving you your whole chapter. So then as he goes around to do his talk, one of his distinctions in enchantment is what he calls a Duchenne smile. A Duchenne smile is where Guy Kawasaki made crow's feet chic. The orbicularis oculi muscle is the one that gives you wrinkles at your eyes, crow's feet. And that's when you know it's a genuine smile, if somebody's eyes are crinkly. And so this is Guy. This is a slide from his deck. And Guy would go around and talk about Maury Smith on his slides. And people would tweet me, Maury Smith, Guy Kawasaki's got you on his slides. And I'm like, oh, how cool is that? And then we'd just go totally meta, and you might not be able to see it, but this is a picture of me on stage with that slide. That's me on stage talking about Guy talking about me. The love just kept going on and on. and not long after that, actually, Guy and I teamed up and we created a course together called Social Midas. And that was just a lot of fun. We got in a studio together and did a video course on social media marketing. And Guy's funny. He said, you know that Midas touch, it's not that everything he touches turns to gold. It's that everything that's gold, Guy touches. That was his distinction. So creating a strategic plan as the brand, as the company looking to work with an influencer, you definitely want to have an end goal. Are you looking for sales, leads, just awareness to start with? The thing is that you do need to have clarity in your communication. I'm going to always recommend not going for that one and done, because I get that. I get people saying, Maury, will you just, do one Facebook Live for us or one tweet? Or I can, but don't expect a flood of people with their credit cards out, right? It was set up here earlier with Eric and Mark that it's a journey to be able to create that trust. So clear communication always, and I've learned over the years through trial and error, managing expectations is your biggest hurdle to overcome from the brand side for sure, but then also from the influencer side, making sure that you communicate. Let's say that you can deliver brand awareness, but the brand is looking for sales. There's going to be a mismatch there. Let's say you can get lots and lots of conversation, but they are wanting conversion. So really being clear on what those expectations are and that all parties are on the same page. Now then, these are just some brands that I work with over the years. I've been blessed to work directly with Facebook, and a couple of times I went on tour with them in 2015. I've just started to do some work with them in their blueprint certification. We're working on a new program coming out there. Agora Pulse, shout out to Agora Pulse. They're a wonderful social media management tool. I also just did a broadcast with Content Cal. They're a really wonderful planning tool out of the UK. Some of these, I'm not necessarily a brand ambassador, but we've done influencer marketing work with them, and really, really fun. It's one of my favorite things to do. It's really just a lot of fun. So with that, my friends, in a moment, we're going to finish up our live, and then we're going to have a wonderful discussion and some Q&A here in our audience. I know it's just me on camera. Well, we really do have a room full of about 40 people here. So I have a little bit of time left. So what I'm going to do is just check and see if we might have some questions from our audience, and we can do that real easy. Let me click that there, and I'll go back to that, and that's that, and then you guys should see, hold on, there it is. I'm on camera, and I know I stepped out of the frame, but you can still hear me. I'm bringing your comments up. There you go, and then I need my glasses. I'm still here. Great, excellent. Here is Heather Clifford in the house, and I can just do that. She says, love Maury's personality. Thank you, Heather, and she's from Whistler. Whistler, BC. Oh, and Dave Basalto, you're the best. So I'm putting those up there. That's fun, that's fun. Great. Dave Basalto, actually, he was one of the logos I had on my screen there, and he's from iOgrapher. So iOgrapher makes mobile video gear, and I got with Dave one time not long back, and we created what's called a Maury Smith kit, and it has a case, and it has a little light, it has a microphone. So I will do that. All you need to do to enter is make a comment on this live, and we will pick a winner. When should we do it, Dave? What's today? Thursday. We'll do it on Saturday. Okie dokie? Love it. And I'll put a link so you guys can see what that is. He's the best. I love those. Here is Liz Melville. She is a fellow Scot over there in lovely Scotland, and she's also a fellow Facebook marketing expert. Now, I have been told before that I have an amazing memory, and I do. Some people say I have a photographic memory, and I really genuinely do love my peeps, as I say. And so when I see their names, it's like it flashes before me all the interactions I've had, where they are, what they're maybe doing right now, fun things like that. So good to see you, Liz. All right. Oh, you guys are amazing. Here's Anita. She's giving Wave a shout. And Rhonda won the Iographer gear once. Love it. Great. Here's Andrew. Great info and wisdom. Appreciate it. Donna, Rachel. Yay. Yeah. Oh, I didn't tell you what to say. Just say Mari Kit. That's a good idea. Just say Mari Kit. Okay. I promise I will come back after and answer your questions. So we're going to sign off for now. I really appreciate you being here, and if I can be of any support to you in helping you to develop and grow your influence, just let me know. And from us here in New York, take good care and bye for now. Let's give a big cheer, everybody. Woo! Thank you. Bye for now, friends.